This is a handheld magnifying glass or loop. It's battery operated with a light. Pick these up at estate sales usually for $1 or so, and this one didn't get too much, just got $14 for it. This is sort of an interesting piano lamp. Got the treble clef design and a very heavy bass. This was on Craigslist, and I met the guy in a parking lot, and he took $10 for it. It's got a little scratch in the base, but it's still sold for $80. This is a Case IH Combine trucker hat. Just about like new. Bought it for 50 cents at a garage sale last weekend, and it sold for $30, and it's going to Switzerland via the global shipping program. This is just a single strap sling bag. It's called an Amera bag. I'd never heard of these, and when I was at the garage sale and saw it, it was in pretty good shape. They only wanted a couple dollars for it. So I looked it up, and they're kind of popular, and you can get some good money for them. I had this listed at $40. Somebody wrote me and asked if I would take less, so I put a best offer on it, and they gave me $32 for it. This is a tin sign commemorating the Corvette, part of a box lot from an auction. I'm really bidding on these. And if it's something that's easy to list and easy to pack, I don't mind putting something up for $10, and that's what this went for. This is a small mid-century 45 RPM record rack. I always take pictures of it holding both the 45s and the LPs, as it will do both and gives people the idea of different uses for it. And you find these all the time at garage sales for a quarter to $1. And this sold for $25. This is a 1970s Sony half-track stereo reel-to-reel tape deck. Uses the big 10-inch reels. I tracked this down off a Craigslist ad in a small little South Dakota town. Guy had a home studio. He had this one and a 4-track Sony unit that I'm actually using in my stereo system right now. And I got the pair for $300. I put this up for $12.99 after extensive research on it, but it's been up since last winter. And someone from Australia just made me an offer of $700 that I accepted. More vintage used cassette tapes. These are Philips brand, made in Austria. Someone in Germany made me an offer of $150 for all 10, and I took that right away. Had them up for $250, kind of shooting for the moon on it. These are the 4 feet off of a Sony turntable that I bought. Just going to take too much to get that turntable back to running, so I parting it out. Some valuable parts on it, and these went for $25. This is a pair of women's Born, sort of a combat style boot. I just picked these up over the weekend. I couldn't believe it. $2. They're in great shape, and they sold for $50 yesterday. This is a vintage Stetson. I'm not sure if it's a derby or a bowler, or if both terms are correct. I used them both and didn't have any problems. It's quite old, and it's one of those good sizes, 7 3/8. And this sold for $50. It was just a $2 garage sale item. A couple of weeks ago on the blog, I mentioned a Hammond Organ that I spotted at a garage sale, and I got them to deliver to my house for $40. Well, I pulled this part off, which was the thing I saw on it right away that I knew would be of value. Leslie organ speakers are quite valuable, and these switches and connector box I knew would have some value, and they sold for $200 just the other day, after many inquiries wanting me to split it up and offering me, you know, $100 for it. But I held out knowing that it had that kind of value. This is Mattel's Classic Football 2. Came out in the early 2000s. The real valuable ones are the white ones that came out in the late 70s, early 80s, although they did reissue them So you got to kind of be careful which ones you are placing value on. Although, really, they're generally about $1 at a garage sale whenever you find them. And this one sold for $30. Forgot to add these before I packed them. This was an auction find just in a box lot. They are clay poker chips, and they're kind of unique. They all look like this with the cat, the dog, and the monkey. And it says "Stop monkeying around." There were 47 chips. Some of them were damaged, and they took a while to sell, but somebody bought them for $20. This is a Conair Touch Tone massager. I do quite well with these. I've sold quite a few different varieties over the years, and actually I got the idea from when Mikey and Wendy were on the show and they talked about selling these. It seems the weirder the better, or the older the better, and this one's kind of worn and everything. It sold for $20, but I've sold massagers that well, they almost look like sanders. It takes two hands to hold them. You can really bear down with them, I guess. And those have sold upwards of $100 or more, but this one was $20, just a $2 pickup at a garage sale. This perfectly fine winter parka. It's a Canadian-made Mondetta Resort. Well, I've had this forever, since 2013. I was living in Arizona and bought it there. And it just, lots of views, never any watchers. Finally, somebody offered me $32.50 if I'd ship it to Utah for them. And glad to see it go.